For our next watch here, we have a new upstart brand that I thought was pretty cool, and this is Elka. This is known as the X02 0802. So maybe we need to work on the name, but the watch, pretty cool. So this watch retails for $1,500. Case size of 41 millimeters, does not wear to that case size. I say wear closer to a 40 millimeter, if not a 39 millimeter. Thickness of 11.6, lug to lug of 46.5 millimeters, 30 meters of water resistance. On the inside, you have a La Joux movement, the G100, which we could talk about a little bit more in a bit, and then a sapphire crystal on top. So another resurrected brand name that was deep within the watch industry's past, with Elka having been first used for watches in 1877 in Amsterdam, not being a place often associated with watchmaking, but modern Elka was relaunched this year by Swatch Group industry veteran Hakim El Kadiri, working in the design department at Hamilton and Rado, producing some fantastic watches over the years for those brands. Now, while being yet another microbrand, kind of pulling on that heritage-inspired design, this one is a little bit more out there. I'll call this one the X02. It leans into more prominent minute markings rather than the opposite. For the point of around $1,500, I think it's a pretty cool package. I like this version with this orange outer track, and then also those large numerals with kind of these cream colored second hand with this really elaborate opposite side counterweight that just almost mirrors the exact length of the other side of the second hand. It's pretty cool. I like it. It kind of feels more of a pilot watch type of DNA fused together with more of this traditional three-hand format. I think it looks great. The other thing to talk about here is La Joux. This is a manufacturing arm owned by Citizen, so you know that these are going to be solid movements, and they are solid movements. I've seen these being used more and more in the microspace, but the number one thing about these movements that is special here is essentially an ETA 2824 alternative, but these also have a 66-hour power reserve. So you're talking about almost double that of the traditional ETA 2824, which does give a huge upside and advantage. Now, as somebody who has a lot of watches with extended power reserves, it's hard to now go back to some of those 38-hour power reserves at times, just given how many watches I have and I'm trying to circulate things all the time. I always have to set it, which isn't the worst problem to have, of course, but is something that I think about. So that is another cool thing about these Elka watches.